child with autism has died after going missing from his home. He was nonverbal. He was found overnight in a pond not far from where he lived. Home security footage showed him leaving his house. He skipped in his front yard before he just vanished. We're joined now by psychiatrist Dr. Mirhom. Thank you for being with us today. I think we hear these stories and we wonder how this happened. Unfortunately, this is something that is common with children who suffer from autism. They are attracted because of the sensory aspect of this to bodies of water. What can you tell us of people who are listening who should be informed, who may not know about this and just the threats that this could be being close to water?
You're absolutely right, Marina. Thank you for having me back on. This is unfortunately something that we see often with children in autism spectrum disorder. They're actually 160 times more likely to die of drowning. And this is something that we are raising a lot of awareness around because, as you mentioned, both the sensory part as well as the general more likelihood to wander from a facility. If you're home, you're more likely to just leave the home, leave out of the door, and then eventually be found in a body of water. There are some things that we can do specifically to prevent this, though.
Well, that's exactly what my next question is. What do we do to prevent this, not just as a family, but as a community? What should we know?
Yeah, exactly, Joe. Yeah, absolutely. Because this is a big risk for children overall, we actually find that 71% of children with autism who pass away from drowning. So the first thing is actually what you're doing right now, which is awareness. The fact that this is a big major risk. The second thing, as a family and a community, what can I do? The same way that we encourage children in general to be able to get swimming lessons, you can look for autism certified swimming instructions to be able to be more comfortable in a body of water, number one. And number two, the same way that we talk to new parents around child locking the home or sort of having child safety around an alarm maybe at the house door or an alarm at the window. These things can really save lives because we know that children with autism, that stimulation of something outside, whether it's a light or a body of water, can really draw them to wander off from the home as well.
Gotcha. Autism certified swimming instructor is an actual thing.
It's an actual thing because when we think about teaching children how to swim and be comfortable in a body of water, that can be challenging in general when a child is first getting their bearings in terms of being comfortable in water. But there's specific things that go into place with helping a child who is not comfortable communicating directly. This child that was found was actually nonverbal, so they may not respond to verbal prompts, but there are other ways that we can communicate with children with autism that can make them feel more comfortable and they can become more safe when they're in a body of water, whether it's a pool around the corner or a lake.
Dr. Mirhom, if we could just get one family to listen, that's enough to hopefully prevent this tragedy from happening to another family. And again, you associate drowning sometimes with places like Florida where there's abundant pools or there's beaches, but really any body of water is enough to cause this tragedy. Dr. Mirhom, thank you for coming on the DMV Zone. And unfortunately, we'll take this angle here. And of course, our hearts are with this family out in Charles County. Cannot even begin to imagine. In the meantime, as we stay